ਆਪਣਾ ਮੂਲ ਪਛਾਣ, ਮਨ ਤੂੰ ਜੋਤ ਸਰੂਪ ਹੈ, ਆਪਣਾ ਮੂਲ ਪਛਾਣ, ਮਨ ਹਰ ਜੀ ਤੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੈ,
ਮਨ ਹਰ ਜੀ ਤੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੈ,
ਗੁਰਮਤੀ ਰੰਗ ਮਾਣ, ਗੁਰਮਤੀ ਰੰਗ ਮਾਣ,
ਗੁਰਮਤੀ ਰੰਗ ਮਾਨ, ਗੁਰਮਤੀ ਰੰਗ ਮਾਨ,
ਮਨ ਤੂੰ ਜੋਤ ਸਰੂਪ ਹੈ, ਆਪਣਾ ਮੂਲ ਪਛਾਣ, ਆਪਣਾ ਮੂਲ ਪਛਾਣ।
ਸੋ ਇੰਨੀਆਂ ਬੇਤੀਆਂ ਪ੍ਰਵਾਨ ਕਰਨੀਆਂ। We must have made so many mistakes, Sad Sangat Ji. Please forgive us for any of our mistakes and give us this blessing that we may merge with the divine. Deho sajan assi sariyan jo hove sahib siyo mel. Vaheguru ji ka khalsa, Vaheguru ji ki fateh. Vaheguru, Vaheguru,
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ।
ਸਤਨਾਮ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ। ਸਾਧ ਸੰਗਤ ਜੀ, ਬੇਨਤੀ, if you know the Mangala Charan, please join in. ਇੱਕ ਓੰਕਾਰ ਸਤਨਾਮ ਕਰਤਾ ਪੁਰਖ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤ ਅਜੂਨੀ ਸੈਭੰ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ ਜਪ ਆਦ ਸਚ ਜੁਗਾਦ ਸਚ ਹੈ ਭੀ ਸਚ ਨਾਨਕ ਹੋਸੀ ਪੀ ਸਚ ਡੰਡੋਤ ਬੰਧਨ ਅਨੇਕ ਬਾਰ ਸਰਬ ਕਲਾ ਸਮਰਥ ਡੋਲਨ ਤੇ ਰਾਖੋ ਪ੍ਰਭੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਦੇ ਕਰ ਹੱਥ ਰੱਖੇ ਰਖਨਹਾਰ ਆਪ ਉਬਾਰਿਅਨ ਗੁਰ ਕੀ ਪੈਰੀ ਪਾਏ ਕਾਰ ਸਵਾਰਿਅਨ ਹੋਆ ਆਪ ਦਇਆਲ ਮਨ ਹੋ ਨ ਵਿਸਾਰਿਅਨ साध जना कै संग पव जल तारयन साकत निंदक दुष्ट खिन माहे बितारयन तिस साहिब की टेक नानक मन माहे जिस सिमरत सुख होए सगले दुख जाहे तिस साहिब की टेक नानक मन माहे जिस सिमरत सुख होए सगले दुख जाहे। वाहेगुरु जी का खालसा वाहेगुरु जी की फतेह। Satsanga ji, continuing from last week, we have been blessed to be given more time on this beautiful Pauri, the last Pauri in Rera Sahib ji. At the end of the day, when our work day, our school day is finished, Maharaji has chosen this Pauri to be the last Pauri that we read at the end of a tired day. And every single Shabad in Tan Tan Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji has so much meaning inside. And especially our Nityanim Baniya, Guru Maharaji have given this to us to repeatedly tell us a message. So every single day, Maharaj are saying, Rakhe rakhan har aap ubariyan. And Sangat ji, if we can, before we start going into more depth in the meaning of this Shabad, continuing from last week, if we can please for 5 minutes sit with our eyes closed. And this Shabad was written and recited by the beautiful Tan Tan Sri Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj, Shahida de Sartaj. That Sri Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj, who sat on a tatti tavi, who sat in hot burning oil on a burning hot plate and was tortured physically for 6 days. That Sri Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj, who when they were asked if they would falter at any moment and give up any of themselves, who would rather chose to sit on the tatti tavi for 6 days and be in hukam in pana and be in bliss in that endurance, that Satguru Sri Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj, who is the king of shaheeds, the one who showed us how to die, the one who afterwards so many shaheeds could say, this is our king, this is our Sartaj. And if we can come together and do job, just sing this Bani a few times and picture in the midst of June, in the heat of India, that Sri Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj, our true example, who has shown us that even in this heat, sitting on a hot plate, they cannot be touched. That inspiration that we have. Please close your eyes, and if you'd like to, sing along. Mahalla Panjwa. Rakhe rakhan har aap ubariyan, gur ki pairi paaye kaaj savariyan, hoa aap dayal man hona visariyan, साध जना कै संग पव जल तारयन, साकत निंदक दुष्ट खिन माहे बिदारियन, तिस साहिब की टेक नानक मन माहे, जिस सिमरत सुख होए सगले दुख जाहे, रखे रखन हार आप उबारियन, गुर की पैरी पाए काज सवारियन। होआ आप दयाल मन हो न विसारियन, साध जना कै संग पव जल तारियन। साकत निंदक दुष्ट खिन माहे विदारियन, तिस साहिब की टेक नानक मन माहे। जिस सिमरत सुख होए, सगले दुख जाहे। Sasangat ji, if you keep your eyes closed, we're going to go through the Pad Arth whilst we're singing this, so we can really feel what Guru Maharaj ji were telling us. Rakhe rakhanhar aap ubariyan. Vaheguru ji, Saviour Lord, save us and take us across. Gur ki pari pae kaaj savariyan. Falling at the feet of Vaheguru ji, at our Guru, our works are embellished with perfection. Hoa aap dayal man ho na visariyan. You have become kind, merciful and compassionate. We do not forget you from our minds. Sadh jana ke sang pav jal tariyan. In the Sadh Sangat, the company of the holy, we are carried across the terrifying world ocean. Sakat nindak dusht khin mahe bidariyan. In an instant, you have destroyed the faithless cynics, the slanderers, the enemies. Tis sahib ki tek nanak man mahe. O Vaheguru ji, Lord and Master, you are my anchor and support. O Nanak, hold this firm in your mind. Jis simrat sukh hoye, sagle dukh jahe. Remembering Vaheguru ji in meditation, happiness comes and all sorrows and pains simply vanish. Rakhe rakhanhar आप उबारियन, गुर की पैरी पाए काज सवारियन। होआ आप दयाल मन हो न विसारियन, साध जना कै संग पव जल तारियन। साकत निंदक दुष्ट खिन माहे विदारियन, तिस साहिब की टेक नानक मन माहे। जिस सिमरत सुख होए, सगले दुख जाहे। तिस साहिब की टेक नानक मन माहे। जिस सिमरत सुख होए, सगले दुख जाहे। वाहिगुरु। Rakhe rakhanhar aap ubariyan. Sasangat ji, last week we spoke about this game that we're all playing, this game where we are all character one, this game of life. And in this game, as we spoke about last week, we are that droplet from the cloud that's crashed into the windscreen mirror, and we've dropped down into a muddy puddle, and we have dirt all over us, and all we're trying to do is get back into the sea so that we can evaporate back home. All we need to do is get back home to our cloud. In this game, we have ourselves, and we have all of our internal family. We have this man, which is us, our character. And then we have 5 things that keep distracting us from getting back home. 5 things that keep making us think, oh no, we'll stay 1 hour longer, we'll stay 1 year longer, we'll stay in suffering 10 years longer. But in reality, if Kirpa happens and if we really focus, all we have to do, all the game tells us to do, is get back home. We have these Chitar Gupt, these little Chitar and Gupt recording our every move, whether we're going closer or further away from getting back home. And we have Dharamraj, who at the end of not the whole game, but just level 1 of the physical body, shows us where we've got to. Are we closer to getting back home, or do we need to go into another cycle, into another June? And Sad Sangat Ji, this all starts and ends all inside of our man. That man, this mind, that Vaheguru Ji says, Man, tu jot sarup hai, apna mool pashan. Where Vaheguru Ji is saying, Man, mind, who are you? Who am I? Man, you are Jot Sarup. Realize that you are Vaheguru Ji. You are that essence of Vaheguru Ji. You thought you were just the droplet, but you're the whole ocean. Apna mool pashan is a hukam by Vaheguru Ji, by Guru Sahib, saying, realize yourself. Get out of this game. And then that same man that we thought was this Mela mind is actually, when we finish the game, realize that this is our Atma, this is our soul, which is Paramatma, which is the same as Vaheguru Ji once we get away at all the layers. Maharaj in this Bani say, Rakhe Rakhanhar Aap Ubariyan. They say, Savior Vaheguru Ji, our Rakhanhar, the one who saves us, take us across. And what are Maharaj Ji speaking about when they're saying, take us across? Last week, we briefly spoke about the things that we should stay away from, the Bujirkrat, the Nindya, the Dobda, the Homme. So the Nindya is speaking ill or complaining about others, the gossip, the Dobda, the judgment and the double-mindedness, the Homme, the thinking that I, me is separate to everything else, and the Loglaja, caring about others' thoughts, especially when it's hindering your path to get back home. So Maharaj is here, everywhere, and they have this bandar, this big bowl of sukh, this big bowl of peace. And we keep putting our feet in these other things that were not meant for us, Sad Sangat Ji, and we're delaying our time to get back home. Maharaj is saying, Rakhe Rakhanhar Aap Ubariyan. Maharaj Ji, save us and take me across this world of ocean, like a fish going through a big sea. A small little fish that just wants to get across back to its family, and then sharks come. And what happens? The fish feels fearful, but learns to swim and get away. And then more oil starts spilling, and then the fish can't see. And Sad Sangat Ji, this is just like our real life. Somebody will be sitting there and start doing nindya about someone, and we think, oh, that makes me feel good. I can feel involved in this conversation. And we go, and that's an oil spillage for us. And then we pollute ourselves, we pollute our minds. Or we go and they cut in front of us in the car, and there comes out our road rage. And what's that doing? that's just tripped us up and made us delayed again from getting back home. We have this big bowl of bliss right in front of us, but we keep picking everything else apart from eating this. There's many examples in our history, like Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj. And I asked a Gursikh, and I wanted to know, just because I'm in this cloth, in the sareer of a woman, I wanted to know any difficulties that women have faced in the past that I can learn from, or in the present day, where they're staying away from all of these mande bujurkrat, all these things that we should stay away from, and they just focused on getting back home. And a beautiful Gursikh gave me the example of Bibi Rajni Ji. Bibi Rajni Ji was the youngest daughter of many sisters. And her father was a very wealthy man, a king. And the father had a lot of pride. The father lined up all of the sisters and says, who gave you everything that you're eating today, that you're doing today, that you can have today? Who gave you all of this? And the eldest sister said, you did, Pitaji, you did, Dad. And then the second, he was really happy. He asked the second sister, he said, who gave you everything? I bought you this, I bought you that. Who gave you that? And she said, you did, Dad. He asked all the other sisters, and it came to the youngest one, who was Bibi Rajni Ji. And the youngest children can be sometimes a little bit rebellious. So he asked Bibi Rajni Ji, he said, okay, I've asked all your sisters now, hon tumi minu das. Who gave you everything? And Bibi Rajni Ji thought about it. And she goes, I think Vaheguru Ji gave me everything today and before. And the father wasn't pleased with this. He was so displeased with this that he married Bibi Rajni Ji, his youngest sweet daughter, off to a leper. And if anybody knows what leprosy is, it's a skin disease which covers your whole body. Some people are unable to walk or do any kaam. And in this time period in India, if a man had such a disease, he couldn't provide for the family. So Bibi Rajni Ji was married to this leper, and she would carry him every day in a wheelbarrow because he couldn't walk. So if we just imagine right now being in the position of Bibi Rajni Ji, she's been now married off, and she's been given a husband who can't communicate very well, who can't sit or eat on his own, he can't walk. And he sits in this wheelbarrow, and she cleans him and she looks after him and she takes him every day. And because they can't earn, Bibi Rajni Ji leaves the wheelbarrow and then she goes knocking on people's doors every day to mang, to ask for food. And then she comes back, and if they get food, then they eat. If not, then they sit. Maharaj Hera Singh Rakhe Rakhanhar, Vaheguru Ji who saves me, take me across. Aap ubariyan. Gur ki pairi paaye, kaaj savariyan. Whose pair are we sitting at? Whose pair do we fall to every day? Do we fall to the Panch Chor's pair? Do we fall to the feet of the Panch Chor every day? The kaam, krodh, loh, moh, hankar, the anger, the attachments, the desires that we have growing and that keep piling up every day? Are we falling to the feet of greed and saying that we need more? Or are we falling to the feet of our pride and saying, bow down to me, I've done great today. Why did you not recognize this? Why have you not seen me? Or, like Bibi Rajni Ji, do we fall to the feet of Vaiguruji and say, Gur ki peri pae, God Savarian. And Satsangaji was sat here thinking that Bibi Rajni ji fell to the feet and acknowledged that Vaiguruji gave her everything. And she has a leper as a husband. And she's taking this husband along and munging at the doors of people. And what life is this? Gur ki peri pae, God Savarian. But Guru Maharaj ji, our perfect manual and our perfect Guru who tells us everything of life, of how to get out of this game, says, God Savarian, all of your works, anything that you need to do in this life, they will solve and they will do for you perfectly. All you need to do is Gur ki peri pae, fall to the feet of that Guru, of that true Guru, who will take you out of this game. And Maharaji doesn't lie. So Bibi Rajni ji, she goes one day and she takes her husband and she mungs and she knocks at somebody's door. And she's put the wheelbarrow of her husband, she's put it next to a well. And she goes to mung. What happens in this time is that her husband, the wheelbarrow falls and her husband falls into the water. And as he falls into this water, as Bibi Rajni walks back, she sees another man there. She comes back and she says, what have you done to my husband? Where is my husband? And what she doesn't realize is that all of her works have just been done for her perfectly. Ki gur ki peri pae, God Savarian. Better than she could have ever done herself, or anyone in this world can ever do, that Guru has made our work perfect when we fall to their feet. And she comes back, and this man who looks nothing like the leper of a husband that she left is fully cured and can now earn for them. He can walk, and now they have a life that the Guru has given them. And Sangaji, just like the rog that we have inside of us, in that big man, in that big mind, which isn't letting us get back home, as we fall to the feet of Vaiguruji, they too will manage all of our garbage. Maharaj say, Hoa aap dayal, manho na visarian. And once we fall to the feet of Vaiguruji, once we fall to the feet of our Satguru, this is true compassion. Hoa aap dayal, they are always compassionate, Satsangaji. We need to realize that everything that is working in Hukam, everything that is happening every single day, is on the path of us getting back home. They are forever compassionate, but once we fall to their feet, then we can see this compassion. Hoa aap dayal, manona visarian. You have become so kind. We can see that they're so kind, they're so merciful, they're so compassionate. Why? Because manona visarian, because now we can't forget Vaiguruji from our minds. And that's because we fell. If we fall to their feet, how do we do this? Instead of falling to the feet of Nindya, of slandering someone, when this thought comes, what can we do instead? And if we don't know a lot of Path or a lot of Bani, it can be as simple as Vai Guru, cut the thought. Vai Guru, cut the thought. Vai cut Guru, cut the thought. Vai Guru, 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 and focus on getting back home. And when we empty our mind of everything else, just like a child, when you take a toy off them, you need to give them something else so that they don't cry. So when we take away the nindya that our minds have been doing for so many years, or the anxieties that we wake up with every morning at 8 a.m., or the judgments that we make of other people, why are they dressing this way, why can't they wear a suit to the Gurdwara, then instead what can we do? And get in the habit of cutting the thought. With what? With Gur Mantar, with Mool Mantar. Maharaj have given us these tools of meditation that make all of our courage, all of them, make all of our works come true. Perfectly, better than we can do. Hoa aap dayal, manho na visaryan. Sangat ji, because we are finishing on this body of Rera Sahib, it would be really nice to speak about the first lines that we read in Sri Rera Sahib. The har jug jug bhagat upaya, baij rakhda aya Ram Raje. Har nakish dusthar marya prahlad taraya. This beautiful story is about Bhagat Prahlad ji. And Bhagat Prahlad ji, just like Bibi Rajni ji, used to do Simran and used to remember in their mind Vaheguru ji. And just like Bibi Rajni ji, Bhagat Prahlad ji had a very wealthy, a very proud father. And there's much to the story, Satsangat ji. But what Maharaj show us in the beginning of Rera Sahib, right to the end of Rera Sahib, is if we put our minds on Vaheguru ji, they will save us. And Bhagat Prahlad ji, in what happened in that time was the whole of the kingdom had to do job on their father's name. And instead of doing job on their father's name, Harnakish, what Bhagat Prahlad ji, they would say Ram, Ram, Ram. They would remember Vaheguru ji all the time, every day. And what started happening was in school, the other kids would copy him. And the other kids started saying Ram, Ram, Ram. And this message got back to the king. And they were furious. And what can pride do to us, Sangat ji? These are the actions that pride can do, that anger can do, that attachments can do. Is that their father then came out and wanted to kill their own son so that he wouldn't make anyone else jap Ram and his own name would be repeated instead. We see so many stories of murders and all these things happening around the world, and theft and big robberies, and all this is the Panch Jor coming to such a degree. But what we can do now is to slowly make these habits of cutting the Jor, of repeating Vaheguruji's name, and that's what cools everything inside. So every time there were many examples of Bhagat Prahlad ji, of their father trying to kill them, up to the point of their Pua, who had this power, let's say, who couldn't be caught on fire. She would hold Bhagat Prahlad ji, put herself on fire, and what happened instead, by japping Vaheguruji, by japping Ram as he was doing, she died and he was saved. Hoa aap dayal, manho na visaryan. You have become so kind to my mind and merciful and compassionate. Why? Because we don't forget Vaheguruji from our minds anymore. Sangat ji, if we want to get out of this game of life, and we're like, okay, let's do it. Tomorrow, we're going to get out of this game. We need to take one step of that body, of that ladder. So tomorrow, we can take one step and say, okay, every time that I want to do nindya or gossip about someone, let's make that one habit of once in the day, I'm not going to do it, and I'm going to do 1 minute of Simran instead. Or tomorrow, I don't want to feel anxious. And it might not go in one day, but instead we can sit down and meditate for 10 seconds. And it can be just these steps that we take. Sad jana ke sang pavachal tariyan. And what support do we need to take these steps? Maharaji are saying in the Sadh Sangat, the company of the holy, the spiritual seekers, the jigyasus, the ones who want to get out of this game too. When we want to do anything in life, if we want to train for a competition, if we want to become a billionaire, we need to have those like-minded people around us to help us thrive, or those companions that can help us and tell us where to go. And just the same, we need the Sadh Sangat. And if we are yearning that, we can do ardas to Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj and say, give us that Sadh Sangat. The spiritual seekers, the jigyasus, the ones who want to meet Vaheguruji, if we can't find someone who's met Vaheguruji themselves, at least we can have that Sadh Sangat and help each other. And say, have you meditated today? How's your anger? Sangatji, the conversations that some Gursikhs used to have or still have can be, how is your Amrit Vela going? Are you feeling angry today? How's your chore? And these are the conversations we can have with each other to check in. The ones who are our true friends who want to help us get back home. And say, have you practiced gratitude today? Have you practiced being compassionate with yourself? The same way that your Guru and your Mataji, Tan Sri Guru Granth Sahib, Tan Sri Guru Gobind Singh Ji Mata Sahib Kaur see you. Do you treat yourself like that? And the more we imbue ourselves in Sangat, the easier it becomes to stay on the path, to go further, to climb the ladder. Sadh jana ke sang pavjal tariyan. In the company of the holy, we are carried across this bhavjal, this ocean of kam, krodh, lobh, moh, hankar, this ocean of anxieties, worries, daily desires. We have that anchor, that support of Sadh Sangat, of Vaheguruji, of Guru Sahib's Gurbani to tell us every day where to go, of Simran, of meditation to clear our minds. Maharaji says, Sakat, Nindak, Dusht, Kin Mahe Bidariyan. Maharaji is talking about a Sakat, a Nindak, a Dusht. And they're saying, in one instant, in one moment, Vaheguruji, you have killed and destroyed the cynics, the slanderers, the enemies. And do we mean the people who are slandering us? Do we mean the people that are making us feel uncomfortable? Do we mean the outside people? Or is Maharaji telling us that person inside of this mind who is not letting us get back home, the one who keeps slandering, the one who is the dusht, the enemy of the true peace? Maharaj has now that over time, when we've practiced meditation, when we've practiced our Simran, when we've practiced being in Sadh Sangat and loving the company of the holy, in one instant, Sadh Sangat Ji Maharaji is saying that they are destroyed. That mind that is looking here, looking there, that is full of thoughts, all of those thoughts are destroyed. In one instant this can happen. But we need to keep coming back, keep coming back, keep coming back. This Sahib ki tek, Once we do this, what happens? Where else we are going on this journey of rakhe rakhanhar, of asking Vaiguruji, Sadi Rakhya Karo, of save us. What has Vaiguruji done now? They are now our anchor and support. Before, we were falling to the feet of the Panch Jor, of these desires, of this anger, and thinking this is normal, this is okay. But here we have a guru, and the gu and the ru literally means from darkness to light. We're thinking that this darkness, this gu, is normal. We're thinking that a person inside and this chatter inside. Satsangaji, when we have a person that we diagnose as crazy and they're walking along the street and they keep talking to themselves, we diagnose them as crazy. But then we have this mind that keeps talking and doesn't shut off. And then we think that's normal. We think that nindya and gossip and slander and hatred and all these emotions of despair are normal. And our Guruji is telling us this isn't normal, this isn't what your birthright is, as Benji said earlier. You are born into the house of Guru Nanak Dev Ji. Before your Atma, before your soul, before this man was put into this body, Guru Nanak Dev Ji brought this soul into a Sikh family. Why? To bring you in the presence of Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji out of 8 billion people in the world and so many trillions of more species and beings that are in the 84 lakh June. And they chose each and every single member here to come and to get this truth of how to get back home. And then we are tripping ourselves up and we're saying it's normal to be in darkness. And we like the darkness. But from Gu comes Ru, comes the light that our true Satguru will take us to. And they will, Sadh Sangat Ji, as long as you Gur ki pairi paaye, as long as you fall to the feet of your Guru. This Sahib ki tek Nanak manne maahe. This Sahib, this master, now the master of our minds, is our anchor and support. Vaiguruji, O Nanak, hold this firm in your mind. Don't hold the anger and the feelings of grief and all these other feelings that we think we're going to live with for the rest of our lives. Don't hold those in your minds. Come back to Simran. Come back and fall to the feet of our Guru. Come back to your meditation, to your daily practice. And hold Vaiguruji. Hold that firm in your mind. If we practice right now, Satsangaji, together as a family, as a Sangat, as the beloved Sangat, if we practice, because a lot of us are used to this voice in our heads constantly talking, and we think that our normal state is dukh, is grief, is anger, is jealousy, is being envious. But if we can just practice 1 minute, not even that, of no thought, of just focusing on Dhyan mein ton mein janiya, on focusing on the voice, just focusing on the voice, our own voice, and getting to know our own voice when we recite Vaiguru for 1 minute, and then let's see if that is our normal state. If we can relax our bodies, and you can do it as loud as you want. I like to use this reference Baji Harbir Singh earlier. They gave a really good example that when we go to a wedding or when we go anywhere, we can be the first ones and we have no sharam when it comes to the Rail Gaddi and when it comes to dance moves, and we can be the first ones up there and everyone will get together. But when we come into Sangat and we come into Sadh Sangat in front of Guru Granth Sahib Ji, all of a sudden we become embarrassed to do Simran. So if you let go of this log laja, of this caring for just for 1 minute, Satsangaji, of what others are thinking, because we're all here to help each other to get back home. If we can just uchi uchi dani, concentrate on our Simran, not on the voice inside, cut our thoughts and focus on our voice. Japo ji, Vai Guru, 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 Vai Guru. This Sahib ki tek, Nanak manne mahe, Vaheguru ji, Vaheguru is the anchor and the support of my mind. Jis simrat sukh hoye, sagle dukh jahe. By remembering Vaheguru ji in our minds, in meditation, Jis simrat sukh hoye, happiness, peace, anand, true anand, bliss comes, and all those sorrows and pains vanish. They all run away, by Satsangaji. Just like all of Gurbani, this body is the story of us. The story of when we fall to the feet of Guru Maharaj Ji. When we want to, really want to, come out of the darkness and into peace, joy, freedom. By remembering Vaheguru ji, happiness comes and all pains and sorrows vanish. Sangaji, just to finish off with, I'd like to do as we began and sing this body together as a family and hold firm in our minds again as Guru Arjan Dev Ji on that Tatti Tavi, as they sat in total bliss and peace in the heat of summer and in the heat on the Tatti Tavi and enduring oil spilled on them and heat and agni underneath them and torture for 6 days. And I want us to sing this Shabad to feel the joy in our minds that we can feel sat here right now, that can be felt even sitting on a Tatti Tavi. That can be felt even being cut apart piece by piece, can be felt when someone is shouting and swearing at you. That can be felt on a daily basis on each and every moment as soon as we fall to the feet of our Guru. Mahalla Panjava Rakhe Rakhanhar Aap Ubariyan Gur ki Pari Paaye